Welcome to this channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So lately, many friends chat with me about Kung Fu and some comment on Wing Chun. So as always, when it comes to Wing Chun, I ask people to watch this podcast of mine because what is the reality of Wing Chun is in this podcast. So if one want to know the reality, it is here. Of course, many people don't like it. Many people don't like that podcast. Many of our friends have complained to me that why do I make this type of YouTube podcast? But well, reality is reality. Now, contradict to people think, most people think. We actually living in a different world. Even you see me here in YouTube. The world you live in and the world I live in, even though physically it's like we are living the same world, but it is not. That's why there are many things that we need to learn to understand. Because it is easy when you up to a certain different world or certain different level to comment on certain thing like it is narrow, it is shallow, it is superficial, all sort of stuff. For example, if we are educated in the world's top university today, it is very easy for us to go look into those people who do not get the educations in a rural area and look at them and comment on how their thinking process and so forth are superficial or narrow or shallow. Well, the truth is that if we live in that type of area that we don't have educations, we're going to think the same too. So you have this truth of the world, and you have this us who live in a different world. So when we see the truth, we will see different way. And so it get to the point that right now in my situations that I will not be able to say who is right, who is wrong, who is narrow, who is shallow. Because once you consider different people in their positions, you really cannot say that. Because humans have a matter of compassionate. Even though, in fact, certain thing is wrong. But you know that that person who is in that situations, most most likely they are not intend to be wrong. It's just that they trap in their world. And when they trap in their world, what can you expect? So today I like to share with you on the Wing Chun. Actually, it is the entire Chinese Kung Fu, and not even Chinese Kung Fu, is Taoist, Buddhist, same thing. You have the truth there, but we are living in a different world, and the mainstream is a complete different world to the time of, say, Buddha. So the entire thing is twisted, and there's nobody to blame. The only thing is we can show this is what it is. As if people go to take this as truth and go to the directions and work with it and grow with it or not, it really cannot be forced or to be pressurized or to be set a standard because the world is like that. So let's say share with you a certain thing which is in the, if you love Wing Chun, there are certain things, there are three areas you need to know. Otherwise, you will not see the truth of Wing Chun. You will never get to the life and you never grow. Okay? So human world is really tough. Okay? So the first thing I want to share with you is this song, it's under this link, the direction of light. Okay, this is what my feeling when I'm preparing this video, this YouTube for you. The only thing we can do is following the direction of light, and I'll forget about you, forget about who we are before, but following the direction of the light. Why so? Well, I grew up like everybody. I always think Kung Fu, Wing Chun like everybody too. But today I no longer can think it that way. So I have to forget who I am before. But following the light is the only way out. And but then there's no blame there, because how many of us have seen the light? How many capable to see the light? It is a big problem, okay? So for those who want to understand what I'm saying or my sentiment on this thing is, go listen to this song, okay? That's what I have my mind on, or what I feel on. So even 100 years from today, when you watch this YouTube, go listen to the song, read the relics if you don't know Chinese. See what I go through, okay? See, I want to speak as a human, not as I know it more than you. Because we're just human. We all need to grow, okay? Now, the first thing on Wing Chun is, in today's world or in the past 100 years or so, instead of we go looking into what it is in the record, we actually, the mainstream, at least the mainstream of the Kung Fu people, become like following the legend. Okay, become you just following thing like superstitious, you just following whatever it is. So instead of looking at all the Shaolin stuff, all the writing where it clearly said, and whatever it is, define whatever it is, we go through this hierarchy passing type of stuff. So we always talk about this grandmaster passing to this, and this become a grandmaster. And we talk about concept, philosophy, interpretation, creations, uh, everything. Okay. So that's how we become, not looking at what it is, but always this grandmaster teach these people, or my grandmaster teach me, or my grandmaster say this and that and that. But we no longer look into this. When it comes to the root of Wing Chun, same with other Kung Fu style. You look at Kung Fu style, most of them is like that. And then you have all kind of story about Shaolin, and you know that it is all kinds of movie or fiction stories. So what is the mainstream? The mainstream is not the truth, the reality. The mainstream is become like this. Who is the grandmaster? Which lineage is more important than what it is? And so because these days we have movies, and then in our mind, what we see when you talk about Wing Chun, it is always your chi sao, always your wooden dummy, always your hand techniques. Again, you don't look into this. And then always it is which grandmaster say what. And then again, yeah, all the performance with the dance to to illustrate the techniques, and we all take that as reality. Okay, no longer what it is. So the past, it become hierarchical passing. Who passed to who, which grandmaster story, who is the best fighter, who is the king of this and that. Most of the kung fu style become like that today. And then you're following what is in the movies or in the stage performance. So reality, mainstream. So this is the directions of the light. This is what have been fit for past maybe 100 years, more than 100 years. So it is all legend stuff. Now, when you come to like Xu Lim Tao, the body condition of the Wing Chun, you don't look into the strengthening training, you don't look into the fitness training, you don't look into the chi nourishing training, you don't look into your breathing, your intra-abdominal pressure handling, your core handling, you don't look into your strength exertions, multiple strength handling. You don't look into the Chinese meridians, the action reaction force the momentum. You don't. You're just mimicking this thing. So there's what Xiu Lim Tao people practice for past 100 years and more. So how do I know that? Because we have YouTube. We have video performed by all those grandmasters. We have photos. We can analyze this. So it is unfortunately, it is all this type of stuff where it no longer have this content inside there. So it becomes just a belief instead of you look into the body conditioning and what is going on. So because of this, you stay on the surface. You cannot going down to develop the Kung Fu. That is the reality. That's why in the past 130 years, at least in the past 100 years, no one have developed whatever under it, as what I just shared with you, using the ancient Chinese or modern science. We analyze it, we see it's only in the surface mimicking the posture, making pose. People have already, they don't know what it is. Okay? So this is on the body conditioning. So you know that it is empty down there. But then you look at the Chinese society today, Chinese Kung Fu society today, it is all just that. And they believe some days they will get something out of it. But what did we really get? They don't even know. So it is a sad part. But then again, the world is like this today. How is people going to understand all of this, which is based on the ancient and based on today's science can analyze it? So you're actually flying in limbo. Every day we looking forward for tomorrow, but the tomorrow never come because we don't even know what it is. It is pretty sad because you're supposed to get this thing within 3 months, not waiting every day, every day, every day, which is everybody in Wing Chun do today, isn't it? When it comes to fighting, in Kung Fu, in Wing Chun, we no longer look at General Qi Guang's teaching. We no longer, like in the Wing Chun, no longer looking into this. What is Wing Chun? We no longer look into like this General Qi Guang have long fish, short strike, ground fighting. All this momentum play of long fish short strike, ground fighting. We no longer look into that anymore, which is the foundations. What we look at is this. Some kind of special energy, some kind of special force, some kinds of strength, some kind of mind power. And then we believe in the sensitivity or the chi sao. And now we look in the movie, hand techniques. And then we look into hand techniques. But we never again look into what is the real, the proper, the authentic teaching of the Chinese Kung Fu, which is based on momentum. Dynamically playing the momentum game with distance, angle, and level change. We don't look at it anymore. We don't look at it, what is the momentum type, the long fist type, the short strike type, the ground fighting type. We always thinking about the special jing or force. And or this thing, the strength, or the chi sao, sensitivity, or the techniques, straight line, chain pan, very narrow stuff. That's why even 50 years ago, those kind of thing, it really doesn't work. The black is the guy in black is Wing Chun guy. It's just that techniques and just a running chain pan and straight line. You cannot play. 2017, your techniques, you cannot play because you don't know the momentum and the passive and active role, which is the Chinese have a share. So whenever it is played in like this one, you will not be able to play. Okay, let me share with you. So when you get into this, when you play distance, passive, active role, different angles, you cannot play because you are in a different world. You are pretty quote unquote narrow, superficial. You don't even see what is going on, and yet it is just this. Dynamically playing the momentum game with distance, angle, and level change. That's what this is. This is. So this is what we end up today in Chinese Kung Fu and in Wing Chun. Or somebody might go study wrestling and Western boxing and so forth, and then using it in their so-called Wing Chun fight, in their Wing Chun. But well, that's not Wing Chun. You no longer have the characteristics. It is just borrowing somebody's stuff. So this is what happened today on Wing Chun and Chinese Kung Fu. As what I mentioned, people become superstitious on this magic power, this jing. This fa jing stuff. This mind power stuff. And then also the chi sao stuff. Now in the real world. In the real world. Do you see those stuff at all? In the real world, when people play this with you, passive active role, momentum play, there's those things, your chi sao, your all those fa jing, your inch punch, and your 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 mind power, your structure, everything like this, or this chi sao stuff. Is that applicable here? Or you simply will end up like this, or end up like this? So this is what I like to share with you. We today know what is the truth. But for us to forget who we are before and go into the directions of light, that is really difficult. Okay? And so you think is Kung Fu have a future? Wing Chun have a future? Statistically, unless some shocking thing happen, we can predict it statistically that there is no future for Wing Chun or Kung Fu because it have traveled into a different directions. Okay, it is travel in a different direction, in a different to say living in a different world. So if you say I want to learn Wing Chun or Chinese Kung Fu or this Fa Jing, I want to compete with the MMA and so forth. Sorry, you cannot touch MMA, you cannot touch BJJ, you cannot touch Western boxing, you cannot touch Thai boxing, you cannot touch Kyokushin because you don't live in the world of martial arts. You're living in a different type of world where you believe in. But it is not the world of the martial arts. Of course, you can say, well, you go beat up somebody who have no idea what is martial arts. Like beat up your students and all those things. But that is not the real thing when you stood up in the world to face the reality. So this is what I like to share with you. Human world is really complex, as what I said in beginning. You live in a different world, I live in a different world. The older I am, the more I found out that I don't know nothing. The more I found out that everybody have their reason to do their stuff. So the older I am, the more I don't want to set a standard for people or whoever what it is. I just want to share that, okay, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. The rest, your choice. Because human world is not up for us sometimes. There are many conditions and many things. And what I hope is just to share whatever it is and just wishes everybody best wishes, even though with the cause and effect, we know what is the outcome. But just hope that thing can change. But then if people don't change, it is different people's life. You cannot ask people to live according to you, right? So this is what I like to share with you today.